whole new century is coming, Louis. And Mr. Vargo wants every member of his family to make it a priority to erase this weirdo.
This guy is a professional. Going after him could be very dangerous.
Better him than you, right, Louis?
Every day without fail, one should consider himself as dead.
They're gonna whack you, Ghost Dog. If they don't find you, they're gonna whack me instead.
Get the message off him.
If a samurai's head were to be suddenly cut off, he should still be able to perform
one more action with certainty. What is that supposed to mean?
It's poetry. The poetry of war. I've been expecting you.
It all starts with the pad and then shall we begin. We're watching this rap session. Once again on the run, me the Black Stallion. Ghost Dog. Y'all hear it? Dig up and bang your head, punk.
Alright, are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. Alright, we're recording? Yes, we are. We are recording. Alright, go, Gogs.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is the first week of Wu Lai, a week that I did not come up with, but I am fully embracing because I love the Wu-Tang Clan. All members, the Jizza, the RZA, Ghostface Killer, Master Killer, Inspector Deck, Raekwon the Chef, Old Dirty Bastard, and the Method Man. This movie we watched this week was Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, featuring, 5 seconds of the RZA.
Yeah, but he scored the movie. Yeah, he scored the movie.
He scored the movie, and the movie score slaps. But anyway, that's what we watched. We watched.
Alec, your mic is you all right? Your mic is picking up your breathing.
Really?
Pretty heavily. Yeah.
Usually it doesn't. This new one I've been using.
That sounds great. Before it sounded like Darth Vader over there.
Well, I do breathe heavily all the time.
Well, me too.
I sweat when I sleep.
Yeah, we're not the most graceful of breathers, this crew.
Or breeders.
No.
Yeah, look at those kids.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I saw this. I don't know if you're familiar with this at work, but there's a doll called like Coco Lemon, and there's a baby or something like that, and it looks like a perfect combination of both of your children. Like it's insane.
Okay,
that's
how
old. Find it.
Coco Lemon.
I think so.
I think it's a Netflix cartoon too.
Is that what it is?
Oh shit,
maybe.
I saw the toy.
They owe me money then.
Yeah, right.
For my children's likenesses. Oh yeah, no, that's pretty spot on.
Like when they were babies, like
just little blonde babies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we watched. What did we say? What we watched this week? We did
Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai.
Yes, Jim Jarmusch's.
Jarmusch's.
I've never been able to say his name correctly, like ever.
I just call him the Moosh.
The Moosh.
The Moosh is not bad. I like the Moosh. Yeah. But yeah, Jim Jarmusch's Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, a movie that Sean and I have seen. But
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then Alec, this is your first viewing.
Correct.
Passenger pigeons.
All right. Well, let's do what we do when we do, and get into what we watched this week, which might not be too many things because we're doing this a day early.
I watched a lot of things.
Okay, then Gogs, go ahead.
I watched 3.5 things. I watched the back 9 of Tenet.
Oh yeah, so now you can talk about the whole thing.
Yeah, so Tenet, a movie that if you think about it a little bit, it doesn't make sense. If you kind of let it happen, it makes sense. If you think about it more, it doesn't make sense. And then I figure if you think about it a whole lot, it makes more sense. I enjoyed it.
The sad thing is, I kind of see what he's talking about. Like, as much as he just sounds like a madman rambling sometimes, it's like, he does have a point.
I'd like to see that infographic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I did really enjoy it. John David Washington's excellent in it. Robert Pattinson just keeps bringing the lumber. Like, that guy, I was talking to TJ about this. Like, it's a shame that, like, his, like, initial exposure was, like, Twilight, which I feel like put some stink on him. But I love him in The Lighthouse. I love him in Good Time. I love him in this.
And I think he's going to be great in The Batman.
He's going to be
really
good. I'm confident in being a good Batman.
It's kind of
Tenet.
crazy he's come back from that, because how often does that happen? Like,
Yeah, it's super rare. I mean, well, then again, you know what? I take that back. I mean, that was Ryan. He and Ryan Gosling had the
Ryan
same
Gosling, I never
career.
expected to. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
think about how they are too. Like, he started out the same way, and then he became kind of like an indie guy, and now, I mean, he still kind of is, but now he's a much more renowned actor. Like,
I fucking love him. I think he's great. Yeah. Like,
they should be in a movie together.
I would love that. Like, Tenet was a lot of fun. Johnny Washington was saying, excellent. Kenneth Branagh fucking destroying it. It's a spectacle movie. It's wild. I need to watch it again because now that I sort of get what happens, I think I want to, like TJ and I were talking about this. I want to watch it again and sort of see if I can see all of the clues and hints. Cause I think that, forgive me, who's the guy who made the movie? Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's a smart filmmaker. I feel like he's not going to intentionally leave a lot of plot holes in there. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's done with intention and forethought. So I want to watch it again and just I'm interested in watching it again. And it's fucking entertaining. It's a really cool movie.
I feel like it's one of those movies where, like, you're going to get more out of a second viewing because of all the, like, mishigosh that the movie throws at you at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's his name? He's briefly in it. Quicksilver. I can never think of his fucking name.
Oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson. He doesn't even look like him.
He doesn't. Like, I didn't even recognize him. Like, I was like, you look familiar, and he's really good in what little bits he's in it. Very cool.
Crazy. He sucks and everything else.
Right. Yeah. Very cool movie though. I will watch it again. So. Other movie I watched was Cloudy and the Chance of Meatballs 2. I've seen it a billion times. It's a Lord and Miller flick. It's still real funny. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. 2 new movies I watched. I'm going to start with the one I liked and then start with the other one. The one I liked, I watched The New Mutants. Pretty good. I liked what they were doing, but I was telling TJ, it felt like half a movie. Like, it feels like it doesn't do everything it could have done or should have done. But I really...
Pause real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody here has seen it, right? I know Alec and I watched it. Sean, you saw it too, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
I think we all had that opinion, right? That it was like, you could tell that, like, a lot, like, there was, like, more to that movie that they kind of had to, like, shuffle aside. Like, I think we all kind of felt that way.
I thought all the actors in it were really good. I really liked Maisie Williams as, like, Wolfsbane. I thought her character was fun. I really loved what's her name from The Witch as Magic. I thought she was great. I felt the whole movie needed a better antagonist. I feel like what they had to go up against was kind of bleh, but like the tone of the movie, the darkness of the movie, I liked all that. I would love to see this team do more stuff. But it felt like that movie had unrealized potential, but I liked what they did.
Well, I think, I don't know if we probably talked about it, but you can see the movie they're trying to make when Cannonball has a nightmare sequence. It's like totally out of place to the rest of the movie.
Yeah. They don't, if they kept going with that, that would have been a much more interesting movie. There's times where that movie felt like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or kind of felt like 12 Monkeys. And I was like, okay, this is fucking weird and cool. And then they kind of just came back to center, which I wish they hadn't done. But I thought all the actors were good in it. I thought it was well shot. It was well directed. I just wish the story had done more with what they were going to do. But it's on HBO. You should check it out. And then, I don't know if anyone else watches, I watched The Tomorrow War.
Oh, I heard that fucking terrible.
Which is dumb.
I was really excited to watch that.
It is dumb. It's dumb. It's like
every time I saw it, I kept thinking it was the Forever War, and I was like, "Oh, I love that book." And
like I watched, like, so I'm not gonna get you guys can watch it. I'm not giving you any spoilers.
Don't care.
But like, it's just like the initial concept is dumb, and then it sort of stays dumb. And then it sort of brings that, like, the first half of the movie is real dumb, and then the second half of the movie kind of tries to redeem it.
Is it sci-fi?
It's sci-fi as fuck.
Yeah.
It's basically like
that should be the Space Boy tagline, Sean.
It's like
sci-fi as fuck.
It's sort of A Quiet Place, and it's sort of Live, Die, Repeat, Tomorrow Never Dies. It's sort of that.
That is certainly not called Tomorrow Never Dies.
I'm sorry, what's it called? Excuse me. What's it?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Well, it actually is called Live, Die, Repeat Now. It's like they retitled it, which is
Edge of Tomorrow.
I don't know. I think I'm the only one who still likes the original title the best. All You Need Is Kill.
All You Need Is Kill is the best title. Yeah,
that's the best title of anything that's ever had a title ever.
I mean, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Good. So, is anyone going to watch the Tomorrow War? Should I just not? Okay,
well, not now.
Okay. Well, I mean, so here's the deal. It's now, and then we're watching the fucking.
Wait, it's now. So when is then?
Well, then will be now soon. So, like we're hanging out, and like Chris Pratt is basically he's taken the typical career path of being a special forces operative turned science teacher. And he's trying to get a new job doing whatever, and then he's
a good actor. Like, I don't know.
He is. I'm not going to shit on Chris Pratt. He's kind of milk toast in this one, but I think Chris Pratt in general I enjoy. What happens is 30 years in the future, people come back to recruit people to fight this war in the future, and it's this thing where they can only go like day for day. Like you can only go like if it's August 31st, does August have 31 days? If it's August 31st, 2051, you can only go to August 31st, 2021. You can't go forward, you can't go backward. You can go 30 days fucking flippity back. So they can't actually go back to when stuff kicks off. They can't keep going back and rewrite. That's not a bad premise.
There's either I can't think of it. There's a book or a movie that does the same. Like that time travel conceit has been done before. I mean
that MacGuffin is almost like
Sean,
a
Primer-esque
sort of thing.
There's like a one where you can only I think you could only go back a week. I can't remember. I can't think of it. It doesn't matter.
I don't recall.
It'll come to me at the end of the fucking show.
So there's these monsters that are like killing and eating people, and humanity is almost. They're like. I
don't know why that's funny to me. They're like killing them, but they're like cooking them up like fine dining.
They're just chomping down, and they're eating and killing, and they're huh?
Is it the Ursa from After Earth?
They are.
Oh, shit.
They're like I don't know how to describe them. They're monsters. They're generic monsters with extra whippy bits, and
they got whippy bits.
They got whippy bits on the sides of them, and they're fucking everybody up, and. It's like Earth is down to like their last million folk or whatever. And they're like, they start recruiting everyone who's going to be dead in the future. So we don't have a paradox.
Wait, everybody's going to be dead in the future anyway. Eventually.
So like, no, yeah. But like if you're going to be dead in the new timeline, like they want to make sure you're not going to be there. So like they bring you back and then you fight for a week.
Oh,
and then
so
you
it's kind of like, it's like Free Jack in a weird way.
Sort of, yeah. You have to be dead for them to grab you.
So far, everything you're saying sounds pretty cool.
Sounds pretty good.
I mean, go ahead and watch it, and then a bunch of shit goes down, and then they finally, the whole time going, well, why don't we just stop all this from happening? And then they figure out, oh yeah, we should stop all this from happening. But then they kind of
I just had a thought. Like, do you guys remember like when you were in English class back in high school, and they had like the trajectory of storytelling? And like, there's like the rising action and the falling action. There should be like a Gogs. There should be like a Gogs chart where it's like shit starts, some crazy shit happens, then other shit goes down, and then it's the end.
Yeah,
I need to workshop that one a little bit, but.
So they go to the future. They figure out a thing. They're all fucked, and then they're gonna come back to unfuck it. In the past,
this movie sounds awesome. And I really want to watch this movie.
And like a super jacked J. Jonah Jameson is there, and they blow up a chunk of icy Russia, and then it's sort of a Prometheus-esque. These things were from the past, but like to bomb people with biological weapon. But like I want to like this movie, but at the end of the day, I was just like, this is dumb. It's dumb.
It sounds
and like
great.
The tone is all over the board, and you see a lot of the monsters, which I feel like is bad. Like you should see less of the monsters. Like I don't know, like Cloverfield was better, or Cloverfield the second 110 Cloverfield Lane, whatever was better. Like fucking All We Need Is Kill was better, and what was the other one I said? A Quiet Place were all better, but they're all basically the same idea. This was like
All those movies are very different ideas.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're all about some shit.
That is true. That is true. They're all about some shit.
They are.
So
that's a new plateau for our Five Knuckle Shuffle score. It's a 0 because this wasn't about shit. So
Like-
no shit happened.
when I watched this, you know what this felt like, TJ? This felt like
I don't know. You've named about 150 movies that you feel it's
Yeah,
like.
it's turning into a real Diet Pepsi versus Johnny Mathis kind of thing.
This felt most akin to this felt most akin to Battlefield Los Angeles.
Oh God, that fucking movie.
That movie was worse than this, but this wasn't far off from being like, it's just not good. And
what happened to Aaron Eckhart? That guy was in everything for a while.
Aaron Eckhart didn't write Battle of Los Angeles.
No, I just mean he hasn't been in a movie in like 30 years. Like, that was great.
Did you ever see the sexy sister film, The Battle of Los Angeles? Or I think it's just called Battle L.A. Like,
I thought they were the same movie.
Wasn't it a sequel that you guys loved?
No, you're thinking of the
With
Frank
Frank
Grillo
Skyline.
movie. It's like Starshine. What was it called?
Skyline.
Skyline, which we did enjoy.
Oh, I'm thinking of Skyline.
Yeah.
Okay,
But not but specifically the sequel to Skyline.
Yeah.
It was like Skyline Bananas or Skyline Extra.
A third one came out last year. I never heard anything about it.
Yeah, but this was not. I mean, check it out. But I was not. And it's long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just keeps happening. And I like Chris Pratt. I like all the folks involved. It's got what's her name from Boobs Make America from the Wrestle Show. What's her name? Liberty Bell, Betty Gilpin. She's in it.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. She's got a tremendous set. Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. I didn't do it for me.
Put that on the box.
I wanted it to do it for me too. I was like, okay. I was for it. I was rooting for it, and it just didn't. You guys might love it because who knows? But
I just want to hear you do a commentary track on it.
Yeah, just the tone is all over.
This is the part that made me think of My Left Foot. This is the part
with My Dinner with Andre. Like, it's just the whole. I think the issue is Chris Pratt doesn't. He kind of always plays for laughs, and it's not like it. You know how like Jim from The Office is able to kind of bring some dramatic weight to A Quiet Place.
Yeah,
I don't think that Chris Pratt. Not that he's not capable of doing it, but I feel like he wasn't directed correctly to do it in this one.
What's the movie where Chris Pratt wakes like Jennifer Lawrence up out of hypersleep so he can rape her? Or
my God, that Travelers, is that what
Travelers? I never saw it. I know it didn't do well.
That movie sucks. Yeah. Also, that movie is like it's insanely problematic. Like the plot of that movie is fucking wackadoo.
Yeah, the movie we liked was Beyond Skyline, starring Franklin Grillo.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
No, that was it. Sean.
Nuba playoffs, Alec.
Nuba.
In fact, I'm watching the game on mute, so if I freak out or something breaks, you'll know why.
Fair.
I watched two things.
Two things.
The first one I watched was Rookie of the Year.
Hell yeah.
Shit, hell yeah.
Butt loving.
With Henry, funky butt loving. But Henry Rowan Gardner, the kid who went on to be an American Pie.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He
would get laid.
He injures himself. I guess he dislocates his shoulder or something, and it heals.
I thought it was the first ever Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, isn't that kind of what it is? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He slipped on a baseball and did something to his arm, but his ligaments healed tighter than they should have. Even though he has the worst delivery in the history of baseball, he could whip it from the center field stands to home plate on a frozen rope, which is crazy. The movie's fine. It's not bad. It's entertaining. Daniel Stern's in it. He's funny.
Yeah.
As like I think they say in the movie he got hit in the head by a foul ball. So he's like mentally challenged. But he's also like the team manager for the Chicago Cubs.
It's a much better movie than Little Big League, I think.
That's going to be the next one I watch because I'm just going through all. I watched Angels in the Outfield a few weeks ago, then The Sandlot last week. Now this, then Little Big League. But Little Big League, the kid doesn't actually play baseball.
No, he
just
manages.
like inherits the team or something.
Yeah.
But Rookie of the Year is fun. Gary Busey's a blast in it. Chet Stedman throwing the hot, stinky cheddar.
Chet Stedman, what a name.
Yeah. Dan Hideya's in it. Again, as like a scumbag.
Man,
he's
you're
really
like,
fun.
We're firing on the all-day Dan Hedaya front here.
Yeah, man. I gotta find
That
a
guy
Dan
rocks.
Hedaya month.
Is John Candy in that movie?
Yeah, John Candy's the announcer. He's trying his best to be like Bob Uecker.
Oh, in Major League.
Major League, but it's a kids movie, so he can only do so much with it. He can't. He like all the shit in Major League. Bob Uecker does. Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody's listening at it anyway. But yeah, it's a perfectly entertaining kids baseball movie.
Perfectly cromulent movie.
Yeah. The other movie I watched was Cyrus.
Oh, with
Jonah Hill?
I remember liking that movie.
I liked it too. It's very interesting though. It's not really a comedy, and it's not really a drama. It's like a dramedy.
John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah, Catherine Keener, Marissa Tomei. It leans into the comedy more than the drama, but it's definitely not like your typical like slapstick comedy. It's kind of a dark comedy, but also just kind of weird. But I did enjoy it. It was directed by the Duplass brothers, who I enjoy most of their stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of hit or miss with me, but I do like some of their work.
I guess they're hit or miss with me too, but I'd say more hits than.
I really hated that horror movie that they made. Like
Creep? I've never
oh
seen
my
that.
god,
They
I
made
hate that. Yeah,
Creep wasn't very good.
There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, Creep.
They made sequels.
Really bad. I don't understand why people like that movie so much. It really bothers me how bad it is.
But I liked Cyrus. Jonah Hill was really good at it. John C. Reilly giving a fairly understated performance for John C. Reilly. I was talking with Stacy about it. Like, he might have the best just got woken up face in like the history of movies, because he always looks like half sleepy anyway. So whenever he's like woken up in the middle of something, he's just like looks shocked, but also like in a daze. Like, I think he does it a few times in Step Brothers too.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's entertaining. I enjoyed it. And really, that's all. Those are the only 2 movies I watched.
2 movies.
But I'm up to date on Loki. And you guys, if you're not up to date, you need to get up to date on Loki.
I need to get up to date. Yeah, I'm not up to date.
It is awesome.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah,
I
love it.
They introduced like Kid Loki, which is cool, and
they introduced Kid Loki, and they introduced Loki, classic Loki, with like the bright yellow and bright green.
I saw like it's one of those things where I feel like because of the internet and the popularity of Marvel shit, like you don't even have to watch the show. Like, you know, all the shit, the cool shit that they throw at you. You know what I mean? And I guess the popular fan theory in this show is that Kang is going to show up. But like,
yeah,
everyone said
what
Mephisto is going to show up in WandaVision, and that never happened. So who knows?
Yeah, like,
I mean, Kang would make sense. He is a time guy.
It makes sense, but are they going to do that in one of their shows? Like, the shows get good ratings, but they're going to hold that for a movie.
Yeah, I feel like Kang is a pretty important villain.
But then again, with Marvel, in one of these shows, they're going to like do something like that, and then everybody's going to watch all the shows again.
Well, I keep the popular rumor, because they got their X-Men movie, the Marvel X-Men movie is in production. It's called The Mutants, but they're saying like the rumor is that the higher evolutionary is going to get introduced, which is a crazy
weird.
That's a fucking wild ass character to try to stuff into a movie. I don't he's a character I hardly understand, and I've read comics all my life. But anyway, who's left? Me, I think, right?
You.
I just watched one thing because tonight's my general movie night, but I watched Fear Street 1994 Part 1. I think I might have gotten that year wrong. No, it's 94.
Is that from Fear Street, like those books from when we were in like middle school?
It's exactly what it is.
Wow.
It's fine.
Goosebumps.
What's it about? Like, what?
It's just like I don't know. Did you ever read any of those books when you were in like middle school? I read like a handful of them because they were like, I feel like they were like popcorn. They were like always around, and they were this big, and you could read them in like 15 minutes.
I read a lot of scary stories to tell in the dark.
I remember my sister had like a bunch of those and because R.L. Stine. Well, funny enough, so I didn't know this until years later, like in my 20s, but like Goosebumps and Fear Street, like those books, there was like 100 of them, and they all said R.L. Stine. He didn't write like most of those books. It was like he basically had like a factory of ghostwriters that wrote those books.
I almost got a gig doing something similar.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, it does make sense.
Like, I mean, they're so prolific. Like, how could you write that much?
Yeah, all
right?
that shit, the Babysitter's Club, and then Tom
the
Clancy.
same idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know until very, very recently that was a thing. But anyway, the Fear Street movie is fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I will say that like the movie, in the first 5 minutes, like it's got a very good cold open. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. It's very like throwbacky. It's very Scream. Like it's kind of unapologetically like a Scream ripoff, the cold open. But I was mad because Maya Hawke is the first actress that you see, and she's great. She's Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's kid, and she's fantastic. And she dies in the first scene. I'm like, God damn it. You're going to kill off the best actor you got. And sure enough, the other actors, they're fine, but, you know, they kind of feel like, I mean, in a way, I kind of appreciate that they're just kind of okay actors, because that is sort of true to form to like an old slasher movie. You know what I mean? Like, you really didn't have a lot of standout, you know, actors in those things, and they're kind of forgettable. But I will say, like, I got off topic. Sorry. I've been drinking all day. The one thing that I was very irritated by, in the first 20 minutes of this movie, they just hammer the fucking 90s songs. It's just like scene to scene. It's just like, how many songs can we fit in this movie? Like, it doesn't matter if they thematically fit, if they fit like in the editing process. It's like, let's put in Machine Head, let's put in Portishead, let's put in fucking Creep, and they put Sour Times in there. That did. I was mad because the first song they play in the movie is "I'm Only Happy When It Rains" by Garbage, and that song came out in 1995. So way to go, guys! But the rest of the songs were time accurate. But overall, I didn't hate the movie. I didn't love it. There's definitely a lot of problems with it. They jam all these songs in the first 20 minutes, and then they are out of the rest of the movie. So I think they ran out of money. they like, for some reason, they like put all these songs in, and I was like, uh-oh, this whole movie is just going to be like a soundtrack. And then they just stop. So I don't know. It was a very odd choice. But overall, it's a fun, like, kind of young adult horror story. Like, the story itself is kind of boilerplate, but it's shot pretty well. The actors are good enough. I thought that the movie had a couple of surprises. They added a lot more stakes than I expected. Like, a couple of characters die that I did not see coming. I expected all of them to get out, like, because I thought that was kind of the tone they were going for. I don't know. Overall, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. And this is Fear Street. Like I said, it's called Fear Street 1994 Part 1. So I was like, are they going to do like, not like, I don't know if this story needs to be 2 parts, but what they're doing is, so the next one is Fear Street 1974 or something. and that's part 2. And then they're doing one that takes place in like the witch burning times, like 1699 or something. So I don't know. I was interested enough where I thought it was a entertaining enough movie where I'll watch the next part. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I put it about like a 6 or 7 maybe, but it was entertaining. It was not terrible. I kind of like a little bit into the movie. I was like, this is gonna be really bad, but it was good. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of corny, but again, the source material that they're homaging is corny, so it worked.
This is a Netflix movie, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a Netflix original. And like I said, there's 2 other parts that are coming soon. I think the second part is coming in like a week or 2, and then the third one is coming right after that. My biggest complaint with the movie is it's 2 hours long. You could have cut it down. I think a movie like this should have been 90 minutes. But overall, I enjoyed it. Decent enough special effects. Like I said, well shot, enjoyable film. If you want like a fun kind of popcorn horror movie, I would recommend it. I really don't understand the decision not to put this out in October. This seems like a no-brainer for like a Halloween month kind of thing, but definitely worth watching.
Maybe the third one will hit by then.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It was a fun throwbacky thing, and I'm a fucking old man, so like when you have like a bunch of scenes that take place in a mall, it makes me nostalgic, and I'm like, I remember 1994. Like I'm at that point in my life where it's like the movie might not have been very good, but like I like the 90s. Like I wish it was the 90s.
Yeah, I fuck with the 90s.
I don't know. Like I said, I'd recommend it. Not the best thing I've seen, but it was a pleasant surprise. Like a lot of the choices they made, I thought were pretty interesting. So I'd recommend it. But that's it. That's all I watched. So let's get into our feature presentation. Gogs, what happened in this movie?
Oh, what didn't happen in Ghost Dog: Way of the Samurai? Movie opens with I'm gonna fuck it up. The Hagaguri, whatever There's a lot of references to this samurai book.
Yeah, funny enough, that book is like total bullshit. That book, it was written like in like the 60s or something, maybe the 50s, but like all of that stuff about samurais is like complete horseshit. Like samurais were basically like, if there's like a comparison to like modern times, they were basically like professional athletes. They were kind of like local celebrities, kind of guns for hire in a lot of cases. Like all that stuff about like all the stuff you see in samurai movies is more or less horse shit.
Well, apparently they
were aristocracy. They were like European knights, but somehow like even more fucking dickheadish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and apparently they didn't have a physical fitness requirement because your boy Forrest Whitaker. Well, when you think about
first thing to come out of the gate with you call my man fat. God damn, man.
Well,
also he doesn't need to be like a fucking fit samurai dude. He shoots people.
That's true. He doesn't, though. He does do a lot of like choppy, slappy, like on his rooftop with his passenger pigeons.
Yeah.
So shit. I don't even remember how this movie opens. I guess it just happens, and then
it opens with him. He steals a car.
Well, he's got a universal remote. He's got the sonic screwdriver. And he can do whatever he wants to all of these electric ignition cars.
Time out real quick. Pause. This, you want to talk about nostalgia. The fucking, like, I was like, why don't CD players look like this anymore?
That's exactly what I was texting about. That big ass Kenwood hen unit.
God, it looks so cool.
It was like when I used to jack off to Crutchfield catalogs. Like, oh my God, I can't wait to finally get like that.
The equalizer lines that like went up. Like, that thing looks sick. I was like, why does it? Like, I
remember being so excited to have a car with a removable CD case and taking it off like twice and then never bothering with it.
Yeah. It's like that was like that's like a technology that I'm shocked is so dated. I guess I'm not shocked, but like that is something that just like it was like the epitome of tech, and it's just completely of its time.
I remember,
like there's not even we bought Liz's car died. We had to buy a new car. It doesn't even come with a CD player anymore. Like, it's not even a thing.
Well, you buy a computer nowadays, and it doesn't have a disk drive. Like the fucking new computer I got, that doesn't have a fucking disk drive.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. Mine doesn't either. Right.
So are you guys telling me the next car that I buy, I can't get a CD player?
It's going to be an extra option. It's going to be something you're going to have to pay extra for.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, my car doesn't have a CD player.
Mine does, but mine's a fucking 2010, so it's old as shit.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, my stepdad, who was like, he always had to have the fucking newest tech. He had one of those giant ass like CD carousels in the trunk. You know, like,
oh yeah, he's load them up in the trunk. Yeah,
it was like 100 CDs in his trunk, but the thing was like the size of a fucking like giant note.
It's like a VCR.
How many albums did Jackal make that he needed to have that many discs to change?
No, he wasn't a Jackal. That was my mom. He was more of like a Brooks and Dunn. What was that? Fat blonde haired country guy.
Joe Diffie?
No, I can't think of his. Move on. There was like, who was the guy that was like, where were you? Like
Alan Jackson?
Alan Jackson, that's it. Yeah, Alan Jackson.
I'm not going to. Chattahoochee slaps.
Chattahoochee bangs.
That was
I'm on Team Chattahoochee.
That was more the Bimmer style.
Ain't going down till the sun comes up. That song slaps.
He likes.
I mean, that's Garth Brooks. That's not Alan Jackson.
But they're basically the same person.
Okay.
Anyway, continue, guys. So he steals the car.
So he steals the car with his universal remote. He goes and he uses his universal phone tapping device to hear this guy talking about he doesn't give a shit and this, that, and the other. He slides in there. He blasts the dude. He doesn't shoot a person who is not who did I think it was? Who's the chick from Sweet 16 and oh, help me out. Somebody. Anybody? Nothing?
I don't. What are you talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Molly Ringwald?
Are you saying
Molly
16
Ringwald? Yeah. 16 cans.
Mara
Ringwald. Yeah, it's not Molly. It's not Mara Ringwald. And
no,
he
because
doesn't
Molly
shoot.
Ringwald would have been 48 years old.
I don't understand how time works. We have Forrest Whitaker as just a chubby weeb assassin. So what do we want from me? It could be Mara Ringwald. It could be. I don't know. But she's reading Rashomon, and she hands that to him.
She's got that like TJ Kryptonite haircut too.
Oh yeah, no, she checked. I could see that on me. I was like, that's a lot of boxes getting checked. So then he dips out, and then you get like every Italian stereotype ever hanging out in the back of a Chinese restaurant.
I love these guys.
But here's the thing: they're hanging out in a Chinese restaurant, and they're like the worst mobsters because they're getting shaken down for the rent. Like they don't.
That's not until much later, but yeah.
No, it happens in this scene. It's like, he hands the guy some money. He hands the Chinese guy some money. He goes, "I'll get you the rest tomorrow." Like these guys are not balling.
The whole point is that the guys are inept. That it's like the end of the old ways. You know what I mean? Like they're a fucking cartoon.
Also, the guy.
There's lots of cartoons in this movie too.
The guy that plays the head guy of Vargas. That dude's face is just fucking amazing looking. Like he looks like a fucking stat. That guy has been in.
He looks like a Dick Tracy villain.
Yeah, I looked him up. He's still alive, by the way. That guy's like 102 years old. But he's been in he's one of these like classic actors. Like that guy's been in like 115 movies. He's like a I always get the son and the father mixed up. He's like who is the older what's his name? The guy that was in fucking
Henry Fonda.
Michael Douglas. Kirk Douglas is the father.
Oh,
he's like a Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas is dead, but he's like a Kirk Douglas contemporary. He was in a lot of movies with Kirk Douglas, and Kirk Douglas died, and he was like 107. But yeah, that guy's face is like unbelievable. Like it just looks like it doesn't look real. It looks like makeup.
He looks like an old leather bag come to life. Like he's just.
And then the one guy that just is like an old racist.
Well, and they're just sitting there in silence in the back of a Chinese restaurant, just for no reason. And then people come to pay them tribute and anyway. So this guy Vargo, his daughter is not Ringwald, and she's banging Handsome Frank So Handsome Frank catches 2 in the chest and 1 in the head.
Handsome Frank looked really familiar. I could not place him, but he's
been in a lot. I looked him up. He's been in a lot of things.
He's been in like a lot of mob movies. I feel like he's been a mobster in other things.
Yeah, so his name was like, I don't know, Tito Carbone or something. So now they're like, okay, well, she saw whatever. It's fucked up. So now we need to, hey, Louis. Louis is the guy who knows Ghost Dog, and he knows Ghost Dog because he saved him from being beat up because he was just a weeb dork back in the day. And now he's somehow his samurai retainer assassin for reasons. They're like, you got to clean up this mess. So you need to take out Ghost Dog. So he's like, okie dokie. So him and a guy who's not Wayne Newton and every other fat, like Italian, like stereotype, like go around in the city just killing anyone with an affinity for birds on rooftops.
They're such fuck ups. They're just like they just shit. They're like, oh, I guess it's it. Oh shit. Oh, like there's a lot of like whoops. Like
there's a lot of N words getting tossed around. A lot of Native Americans and black people being basically lumped into the same pile, and maybe we should shoot them anyway. Meanwhile, Ghost Dog's out there living his best life without any friends and all of his pigeons, and he sort of has a professional moment where he befriends a child, but he also hangs out with a Frenchman who sells ice cream. Well, not a Frenchman, a Haitian fella who sells ice cream.
Speaks French, and Ghost Dog doesn't speak French, which is I love that beat. Like he's like, I don't know what he's saying. Like,
yeah,
I have no idea.
But he's my best friend. They play chess and they eat ice cream together.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reincorporation in this movie because there's a point where the French guy just starts reading a book about bears. And the little kid's like, what's he talking about? He's like, I don't know, something about bears. And then like later on, there's a weird scene where like there's like illegal hunting of a bear. Like
there's this weird bear like metaphor where it's like you shoot them just because there's not that many of them. And
well, it's part of that apocalypse metaphor, and it's also like I had to look this up because like there's got to be something to this. Like it doesn't say it about the movie, but I guess in Native American tradition, bears are like thought to like right wrongs and punish the wicked.
Oh, is that right? I had no idea.
Well, and like Ghost Dog seems like he's on the spectrum, but he's like pretty well adjusted for someone on the spectrum.
So,
and then
pause. Is Ghost Dog supposed to be the bear?
Yeah,
in the scenario.
Yeah,
the righter of wrongs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the movie continues as movies often do, and I don't know, a bunch of mobsters shoot a bunch of people, and then Ghost Dog decides that he's going to take it to the mobsters, and he shoots his buddy in the arm a couple times, and then he kind of goes ham on everybody. He gets like
you skipped over one important part. So
which was
he looks at the guy that saved him as his master. So in his he has to honor the samurai code by he doesn't killing his master is not part of his plan, and like he'll basically do whatever he needs to like honor his master. So like he shoots him in the shoulder like as like a workaround, more or less. Like it's it's all about the Bushido code or whatever.
Yeah, so all of his birds get murdered except for the one. He built his own boombox out of a Kenwood head unit and a couple of 8-inch speakers, which is kind of fun. He's an electrical genius, apparently. You find out that he was just some dork that this guy saved, and he came back and yada yada. They only hang out once a year. They communicate via pigeon. He goes full Frank Castle.
The scene where the two Goombas are trying to catch the fucking bird is hilarious.
Yeah. He goes full Frank Castle, assaults on the Italian stronghold, and just kills everybody, which is kind of fun.
He kills the boss, and you think it's going to be some kind of like...
The movie's still got 40 minutes.
Well, he kills the boss. The boss is like, I was expecting you, and he like stands up and shoots him, and then he just dies. It's like,
there's a weird scene where the boss earlier just like makes some sort of like guttural like noise. Like this movie's really weird. So he kills everybody except the girl. Everyone's always watching cartoons. And I was like, oh, he killed
Monsters.
everybody.
The monsters
Yeah,
I was watching cartoon.
I was very surprised to see an itchy and scratchy
Yeah, that's
in
right.
a ghost dog.
So I was trying to figure that out. Like, they're watching a bunch of old cartoons, and then the daughter ends up watching it. Is that like a changing of the guard or a new school?
Yeah.
Like, is there something
Yes, and there's
symbolic
also-
there?
because she shuts it off like after like the ultimate violence thing. It's like, that's enough, we're done. Like, it ties into the end of the Hagakure and also like kind of the end of Revelations. Like we'll talk about it later, maybe. Or
I'm dying to know. I need to hear all of your thoughts on the apocalypse on this. So anyway, the movie I thought was over. Turns out it's not. Keeps going.
You've seen this movie before.
I have, but I forgot that it just kept happening. He goes to like middle management mobster's house, and he shoots Wayne Newton, and then he goes in the garage, and then he removes a 4-inch sanitary line which is connected directly to the drain of a bathroom sink.
Yeah, and also like I guess he could have like shut the water off, but like you don't see him do that. And the first thing the mobster does, he like turns the.
No, he does. He does shut the water off.
Does he shut the water off?
He turns off both valves right there.
Okay.
And then,
but like
then he moves the drain pipe.
You wouldn't be directly underneath.
There's a P-trap that he completely like. There's no way it wouldn't be possible.
It's a fun idea, but like, yeah, I was like that. You wouldn't be directly underneath that sink like that,
and that pipe wouldn't be that big. But anyway,
I enjoyed the idea though. It's a fun idea.
So he blasts this dude in the face.
It's funny because it's another piece of reincorporation. Because when he's like checking the window, there's that scene in the cartoon where he's shooting the bullets through the shower.
Oh yeah. I didn't even put that together. You're absolutely right. Yep.
So
I didn't even think about that.
So then he's killed all the mobsters. He goes back to his ice cream buddy and the little girl, and he talks to them. And then he has a showdown with his boss, and his boss kills him. Because he won't kill his boss, and now his boss works for the daughter who was fucking the guy in the beginning. And then there's more about the samurai code, and that's the movie. And I honestly don't think I missed much in the whole the summary of this.
It's a hard movie to describe.
You skipped over like the 10 scenes of him driving for like 10 minutes at a time.
Fair.
Well, also there's a scene where this is the only part of the apocalypse analogy that I picked. The boat, yeah, they go to, and he's like, what? Like, there's this guy building a boat on like the top of one of the buildings, and he's like, well, how are you going to get that down? And the scene
flood's
kind of
coming.
Yeah, scene kind of cuts.
Yeah, it's so on the nose a lot of times. I'm surprised I never noticed it, and I think it's just because like I always like the movie, just it's kind of like a cool artifact.
Yeah,
but like it's not subtle. Like all the apocalyptic things in the cartoons, they're constantly talking about this is the end. The end is important. The old ways are done. Like we're the last of the tribe. There's a very obvious there's a fairly famous reggae song called Armageddon Time that plays like almost all the way through.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I think it's like a pretty and knowing Jarmusch kind of the way he operates, like I think it's a pretty like on the nose metaphor. Maybe not for like the biblical apocalypse, but definitely like the end of like the old white man. Like if you notice, like every person of color in this movie is like very like sweet and well disposed. Even Ghost Dog, they're like kind of animals. You know what I mean? And then like it's just like doddering old white men coming and destroying everything.
Even like there's like a scene.
I think that's why that scene with the Cayuga guy is in it specifically.
Well, also I was thinking there's a scene early on where you see Ghost Dog and he's sitting in the park and he's eating this ice cream cone.
Yeah.
And he sees a bunch of like those tough looking black guys and they're just rapping. Like they're not doing anything destructive or hurt. They look mean and scary, but like they're just, there's
also that bonkers scene where he sees the guy like sneaking up on the guy
karate kicking
away.
That's out of nowhere.
It's awesome.
And then to tie it all into Wu Lai, at some point he has like just sort of a nod to the RZA, who is also maybe a street samurai.
That's what it's credited as. I wouldn't have picked that up just from the movie.
Yeah, street samurai being a class you could pick in Shadowrun.
It's like the arc thing. Like it never occurred to me because it's just like a weird movie where people are doing weird shit all the time, and it's like there's also a loose, I guess, Tower of Babel reference where they're all speaking different languages.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, I didn't pick up any of that.
It's very specific. Like he's building an ark. Like that's not just a boat. Like, and it's like on top of a building. It's like, well, how's he going to get it down? And it's like he doesn't need to get it down. Yeah, because the end is coming. It's like I got to keep working, and then it just stops.
Yeah, that's really interesting. The boat part, like you said that, and I thought about it, and that was the first thing I was like, oh yeah, that does track. I was like,
I do have a question. When I watched it, the French guy, I didn't have the subtitles on.
The Haitian guy.
The Haitian guy, excuse me.
Yeah.
I didn't understand a thing he said. Like there was nothing. There's no. It's not supposed to be subtitled, right?
It wasn't in the version I watched either.
No, and I have it on. I have like the high def version, so
they have
it is subtitled.
They have a Criterion.
It is or it isn't.
Yeah, I believe it is in both.
But like it's subtitled by default.
It definitely is subtitled by default because when you have the regular subtitles on, like he's speaking, like, and it's showing in English, but it also has a subtitle that lays over top of it that says speaking French.
Oh.
So
I watched it and I was just sitting there listening to gibberish going.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't subtitled for me either.
I mean, so was Ghost Dog.
Fair.
He was listening to gibberish too.
Right, which I thought was the. I took it as the point. Like, okay, yeah. I'm living through his eyes.
But yeah, what else do we want to get into before we get into our final?
I can tell Alec didn't like the movie, and it doesn't sound like Gogs had like the best time, but I fucking love this movie. Like, I'm just a big fan of Jarmusch in general.
I will say,
I think this was like a sweet spot movie for me because, like, I think I wanted to be Ghost Dog.
Like he does a lot of flourishing when he puts his guns away, which is interesting to me.
No, it's just and it's got a lot of nice nods, a lot of like actual Shaolin Kung Fu movie nods with the stuttered animation type thing.
Yeah.
Like when he's putting the guns away and shit. Like I fucking love this movie. And it's also like, I kind of like to look at it as a, like the end of the Mafia movie. You know what I mean? Like this is the inevitable conclusion of that, like of mob movies. Like they just get old and stupid and can't hack it anymore.
I thought it was weird that the one mobster, I don't remember this from previous viewings, but it's such like his affinity for
Flavor
Flav, yeah.
Like, it's also one of those movies where like everybody from New York's so goddamn extra all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, you don't get a lot of grimy New York movies anymore. Like
very grimy New York. Like the way it's shot, especially in the beginning, it almost feels like an Abel Ferrara movie. Like
there's also I think another like nod to like the end of the Old World where he switches the license plates and it says from the industrial state to the highway state. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
I will say when I saw this movie like in 1999, I didn't like it. Because I don't think I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand the tone that it was going for. And then I watched like a bunch of other Jim Jarmusch movies, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went and revisited it. Now I like the movie a lot because I kind of get it. You know what I mean? He kind of just throws so many ideas at you at once, and like. It's silly. It's serious. He just kind of throws in so many things. Like he throws in like the weird cartoon thing, and it's like he's a lot like a David Lynch, where like if you sat down and tried to explain his logic even to him, it probably wouldn't make any sense. But like his instincts are to go a certain way.
But he's also like very all over the place because there's like this movie's tone, and there's something like Only Lovers Left Alive, which is like a very drab maudlin movie, like Strangers in Paradise is kind of all over the place, like road trip movie.
Down by Law is like a pretty standard like crime movie. Like it's not even like a crime movie. It's like a movie about like three fucking loser criminals that go to jail.
And then the zombie movie, I can't remember the title off the top of my head.
The Dead Don't Die, or
Dead Don't Die.
I love that movie, but man, do people hate that movie like so much. I've never heard a crowd more upset with a movie as they were leaving the theater. Like they wanted affirmation from me. They're like, "Man, that sucked." Huh? I'm like, I kind of liked it. I don't know. But yeah, Jim Jarmusch is an acquired taste. He's like a Yargo Lanthimos. He's like a David Lynch. He's like you kind of either you like it or you don't. Like I think he's his own guy for sure. Anything else we want to talk about before we get into our five knuckle shuffles?
Yeah, the little girl at the end is going to be the new ghost dog.
Yes,
Ghost
very
Dog part
very
two.
tropey ending. A very Tarantino did the same fucking thing in Kill Bill. It's a very tropey samurai / martial arts
Western,
movie.
yeah.
Western too. Yeah,
Just a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
yeah. They do it a lot in.
I mean, they did it in fucking The Professional. Like it's
it's a well worn trope.
I give this the nod of The Professional because at no point did I feel like he was trying to fuck this child.
No,
So-
yeah, if Luc Besson had a pass on this, yeah.
say maybe they should make out a little bit.
Also, reading is a big part of this movie, which I thought was weird. Like everybody reads in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why.
I didn't like that part.
No, not at all. It was so funny to me. It's just like everybody's reading Rashomon. It's like just watch the movie.
Yeah, it always kills me when Jarmus shows up in fucking Sling Blade, even though like I know it's gonna happen. It's just so fucking weird.
Yeah, he even showed up on The Simpsons. He's in that episode where they go to like Sundance or whatever. It's like a later season episode. But
Chomskin Productions.
it's actually pretty funny. It's one of the funnier later episodes. Yeah, I don't know like 17 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they have Chalmers and Skinner have their own production company.
That's
making small independent movies.
Chalmers,
and they do one about Nelson being a bully, and they take it to Sundance.
All right.
I mean, those little chuckles are about those little chuckles you guys just gave are about how many chuckles it deserves.
Well, they already kind of did a Sundance episode.
I mean, Chomskin is a funny word.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like that's kind of.
I mean, they've redone every. Like, if you watch like new episodes, like new whole seasons, it's just recycling old seasons. It's like
recycling.
It's like Simpsons did it from South Park, but it's the Simpsons doing Simpsons did it.
Well, even I like the Simpsons movie a lot, but I'm constantly reminded of the Spider Pig subplot in the movie because I have the magnet on my fridge, and like that subplot in and of itself is just Mr. Pinchy. Like it's the same. It's the same fucking.
Good
plot.
point.
But anyway, all right, 5 knuckle shuffle time. I mean, I got to Alec. He's gonna beat up this movie bad.
No, it was a 7.
What?
Oh yeah.
No. Shut up. You're kidding.
Yeah.
What?
Are you doing a bit?
No, it was a 7.
Oh shit!
What?
I got the
I
impression
thought you
did
hated
not
the
like
movie.
it at all.
You said this dumb movie in the text.
Yeah, it was dumb, but I still give it a 7.
Oh, hey!
I didn't like the ending. I didn't like that I didn't like the ghost dog died.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was very against that.
I'm shocked. Alec threw another curveball at me.
Like, it's
But
bad
overall-
enough I can't guess when you're on. Like, don't try and fuck me up before the show on top of it.
But like overall, I liked it a lot. Really, it was just the ending that I thought was dumb. And I mean, I get why he ended it that way, but I liked the character of Ghost Dog so much. Like, I would have liked to have seen him stand up for himself against like the last scumbag he had to kill, and not just roll over. But I mean. Yeah, I enjoyed it. The soundtrack is dynamite. Like, Forrest Whitaker's really good. Most of the Italians are just like, it's just they just like went to like a pasta restaurant. Like, hey, you guys want to be in a movie?
They went to Gabagool University.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the Haitian friend, like he seems like a good actor. I don't know if he is or not, but he
has a lot of presence in this movie. Like, for a guy that's not speaking, he's speaking a language I have no idea what he's saying. Like, I'm with him. You know what I mean?
Great
it's
face.
Just like
yes,
it's like the girl in that News of the World movie.
Yeah,
she didn't speak any English, and nobody knew what the fuck she was saying, but still she could command your attention, and you got the point.
That's a solid movie.
That is a solid movie. Yeah, it's the only. I was just looking at his filmography. It's the only Jim Jarmusch movie I've ever seen. So,
I think you'd like Only Lovers Left Alive. Like, might want to check that out at some point.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I was interested in that zombie movie he did. I just never got around. I just never got around to watching it.
I love it so much.
Only lovers left alive is Loki and Tilda Swinton are the leads.
Are they vampires?
Yeah,
Yeah.
vampires.
Yeah, okay. I vaguely, because that's why she was in What We Do in the Shadows, right?
Yes.
She was
she's
from
the same
that.
character. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a scene in the first season of What We Do in the Shadows where they have like the council of elder vampires, and it's all people that have played very famous vampires in the movies, like Wesley Snipes and Tilda Swinton, and who else? It's like and Jermaine from the first movie. Like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes has shitty internet, which is like the funniest bit in that whole, because he's like on Zoom and he's like, "What you guys talking about?" It's like, fucking Wesley is fucking get better internet, Wesley. It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 people that are vampires in other movies that are in it. It's really funny.
It's hilarious. That show is so funny.
TJ.
Oh man, after the man, I don't like this Alex. This Alex like fucking playing us off for fools. Not only during the show, but the week before the show. Now I don't even know how to feel about this. But it is a 8 for me, dog. I really enjoy this movie. I do think it could be 45 minutes shorter. I feel like it kind of goes on a little long, but I do enjoy the movie a lot. I think at some point we've talked about movies that like are like rock and roll movies, like movies that like you kind of associate with like rock music, like it's something like a Scott Pilgrim, something like that. This to me is like a hip hop movie, like, and it's not like explicit, like it's not like about.
It's also a very specific time period New York hip hop movie. It is very of that era.
Yeah. But I mean, I love samurai movies, so I like a lot of the stuff that they're, referencing. I love the fact that the mobsters are just fucking losers. Like there's a point like later in the movie, like I talked about in the beginning, where they get shakedown for money to pay the rent for the Chinese restaurant that they're working out of. But there's another scene where it happens later, and the guy's like saying like it's like $1,400. He's like, what kind of fucking operation are you guys even running out of here? And then like emasculating the boss, and then the boss he looks at it. There's a pan of like everybody in the room, and everybody's just real fucking quiet, eating their gabagool, fucking looking at the paper. It's hilarious. Like I love how fucking dumb they are, and they're just they watch cartoons all day, and they're just losers. It's funny. I like a lot of the driving sequences. Like I like how they're shot. Like I like the little camera tricks that he does, like the double exposures and stuff like that. I don't know. Again, to me, like a lot of the like city shots remind me of like Abel Ferrara, which obviously I'm a big fan of. But no, it's a cool movie, and it's a very unique movie. I always talk about how, I'll give a lot of credit to something that's like kind of onto itself, completely different than anything you're going to see, and this is definitely one of those. Like what the hell is like Ghost Dog? I have no idea. So yeah, it's an 8 for me, dog. Solid movie. Gogs.
This is I expected this to be like an 8-9. It's like a 7.
It's still a good
7-ish. Yeah, it's
funny. A 7 from me is great. A 7 from Gogs is meh.
Well, this seems like it would be right in my wheelhouse, right? Like this seems like it would check a lot of boxes for me. It's a weeby movie. It's a swordsman movie. It's a hip hop movie. There's all sorts of stuff I should love in this. And it's just it's a little. I think it stays a little long. It could be trimmed down a little bit. Forrest Whitaker's really good in it. It's just it's very, to TJ's point, it's very unique. It's very like I can't think of a comparable film to this, honestly. It's grimy. The soundtrack is very good. The RZA does a very good job, like just kind of putting together. It's a lot of just sort of like backing tracks and beats, but it's very good. The scenes where like the kills and the scenes where shit goes down are pretty rad. Like all the gunplay is good times. Like it's I don't know, and it's fun to see the like all these mobsters like are just stereotypes cranked to like a million. And they're just It's wild. It's just big fat idiot Italians just kind of half-assing their way through. They're all wearing sweaters in what seems like the middle of summer, and they're like wheezing through everything, and they're just kind of half. It's like central cast. It's everyone that didn't make it into Casino got to be in this movie. But yeah, it's incredibly unique is a dumb thing to say because something can't be incredibly unique, but that's what it is. Like it's just a very there's never another. I can't think of another movie even remotely like this, but it's enjoyable. It's fun. Like I'm saying, Forrest Whitaker's very good in it. Yeah, I liked it. It's just I would have thought I would have loved it. I remember liking it a lot more. Sean.
It's a 9 for me. Like, I love this movie. I think my biggest issue, I think a couple people touched on it, not so much the length, is the way it's paced at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like, and I know it's trying to be subversive and weird, but, like, the order in which the mafia guys are killed is kind of odd because, like, it feels like super anticlimactic after he kills Varga to go then kill his lieutenant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see, like, I get why, I can't think of his name. Fucking not Danny Aiello. Louis. Like, I get why that's at the end.
Right, yeah.
But, yeah, like, that scene, the storming the castle scene, you expect at the end, because of the way the rest of the movie's built, it just kind of comes in the middle.
Yeah, it's
and,
weird.
like, having seen the movie so many times, it just kind of throws the pace off. But, like, everything else I love. I love how, like, idiosyncratic it is. I love that Forrest Whitaker's enjoying himself doing something weird like he's wont to do. The soundtrack fucking bangs. Like, some scenes that would be boring, the soundtrack actually just propels it forward. You know what I mean? Like, some of those, like, extra long driving cuts. Like, if it had a different score, would be, like, interminable. But it's just a cool, like... This movie also kind of broke me into, like, artsy, art house kind of movies and these sort of directors. This is 99, so I'm 19 or 18, depending on when it came out. So, like, I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie, and I really do like it a whole lot. And it's, I've never met anyone that's seen it that just didn't like it at all, but, like, I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie just in general.
I think a lot of people probably just write it off as, like, this, like on its face, it's a very weird idea.
Yeah. I also love that fucking Ghost Dog's whole code is based on a misunderstanding of a mistranslation of something that was written, years and years. I'm sure if Matt was on here, he would be talking about the fucking Musashi's Book of the Five Rings and how that's the real samurai fucking book.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Hagakure is more like a book of poetry, so it sort of works.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, it's not a lot of famous people, really, but, like, I think we talked with Isaac de Bunkel or whatever his name is, the Haitian guy, and the lead mafia guy. Everybody's, like, interesting looking. You know what I mean?
It's nice.
Like,
it's nice to have a movie that's filled with people that don't look like models. Like, we say it, I think we say it every time it happens in a movie, but, like, man, it's nice to see, like, actors with, like, character and not just, like, every, like, standard bland looking, like I don't know, normal actor person that you see in a movie nowadays.
And in every other movie we've seen the mob, even still with, like, the Irishman, mobsters are, like, romanticized. It's nice to see them be, like, totally unlikable.
Yeah, it's...
Like, it's a different tack, but yeah, I fucking love this movie. It's a 9.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Nice to watch something good once in a while.
Yeah.
I have a pick for next week if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I am picking another RZA movie. It's called Brick Mansions. It's Paul Walker and one of the guys from B13. So,
yikes! Brick Mansions, huh?
Is that the last movie he made, or the last one that was released, or something? Because I remember hearing the title.
Is. But I'm hoping that it's going to have some parkour action because B13's really good.
Yeah,
that is true.
This is another movie that's written by Luc Besson, so I think we've done like 5 Luc Besson movies.
It's Luc Besson, and the guy who wrote B13 are the writers on this movie.
Well, I want to say that Luc Besson produced B13.
I believe you're correct.
He's produced like every decent like European action movie. I mean, he's a big piece of shit, but he puts his money in the right places a lot of times. Into shutting kids up.
Yeah. Yeah, he should work for the Catholic Church.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's next week. Brick Mansion.
The trailer looks like a ton of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I was between Brick Mansions and The Protector 2, with Tony Jaa. But
who's in The Protector 2 besides Tony Jaa?
The RZA. I just looked up the RZA's filmography.
My movie pick is also going to be a RZA film.
Well, we should get out of the RZA zone. It's three RZA movies.
Is it that comedy where he works at the airport?
No, mine is going to be Repo Man, which also stars Forrest Whitaker.
I kind of love that movie.
I like that movie.
That's not a bad movie.
It's a pseudo Brazil.
Yeah, as that, yeah, exactly.
Brazil for dipshits.
It's a Brazil for morons. It's like the Monster Energy drinks of Brazil movies.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Happy 4th of July. Remember, America sucks, and it's stolen land. Destroy as much of it as you can.
Hell yeah.
Also keep it 100. Enjoy patriotism.
Always keep it 100.
Just remember, it's just like they said in It's Always Sunny. America sucks, terrorists rule.
All right.
Bye.
A lot of bets. Bye.
A lot of bet.
So, Alec, are you out of town? Is that why you're not...